And welcome back to the Murdy Creative Co podcast. I'm your host, Colin Murdy, and today's topic is August goals. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who's supported the company so far. If you haven't got a chance, go check us out on the web at murdycreative.co. That's M-U-R-D-Y creative.co. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching at murdycreative.co to see the best of our product shots. Follow us, keep up to date with our daily photos, and be the first one to know about new product launches. You can also use the subscribe button at the bottom of our website to be included in all of our new product announcements. Be sure to check out our laser engraving, personalization options, and exclusive colors on the website, or you can blank one on Amazon Prime. Also, be sure to join our Discord server. The link is in the top of the description. In our Discord server, we'll do behind-the-scenes photos. We'll talk about new products that I'm prototyping, ideas I think we might have. We'll get feedback on color ideas and things like that. So go check that out. It's a great community, and we would love to have you there. All right, before I get started, Buffalo is our latest addition. The Buffalo line uses the same water buffalo water or leather that is used in our folios for the backing, the panels. And this particular leather is extraordinarily thick and dense, which is part of the reason why we use it as our panels. For example, this leather, like I'm holding it by one corner. This is a mouse pad. It is holding out stock straight. So it is a really nice, really robust option. We have it in a couple of products specifically. So feel free to go to check that out at murdycreative.co/buffalo, or it's listed under the special edition heading of the tabs of our specialty tab. So go check that out. So today we're talking about our August goals. And to be completely honest, it's entirely possible that this will be the last podcast for a little while. I don't know exactly when the baby will be born, but she's coming soon. So if this is the last podcast for a little while, please note, obviously it will be back. I'm going to be taking a little bit of paternity leave, and then I will return. So the podcast will return, which is obviously a good reason to be involved in our Discord so that you get notified when we come back, or as well, be sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel and hit notification. We'll also send out an email with the podcast update when we have one. So definitely be paying attention to that, but this is probably potentially the last one for a little while. So I wanted to talk about August specifically because we started off the month with some pretty aggressive goals. We had 4 aggressive goals, specifically in our sales targets, our marketing budget spend, our fixed cost spend, and then our cost of goods sold reduction. Now we've made some amazing progress, and the goals shifted at mid-month for a couple of reasons. Initially, the reason why we needed to have the sales, those 4 targets be what they were, is because we were forced to be profitable by Shopify because of the lack of liquidity, because we had to force repay Shopify its debt. We borrowed more money at the beginning of the month from Shopify, which, on its face sounds unadvisable, but you'll see where I'm going with this in a little bit. But we were able to borrow that money, and that gave us the liquidity we needed. Now, obviously, we still wanted to be profitable. We still want to be profitable this month, and I think that all in all, August being profitable is still an overarching goal. However, it is being superseded by 2 other goals that actually are, in my mind, more critical than being profitable this month, specifically now because we have the excess capital. One of the things that was the HVAC overhaul. It was deeply important. This is something we've wanted to do for 8 months. We have not had the time or the money, and especially going into Christmas. And the fact that I'm going to be going on paternity leave, and then when I return, we will be in October and really probably moving right into Christmas right during October. So it was important to me that we got that HVAC thing solved right away. That was a huge move. Second off, and this is something that was not announced and was not really planned until the last minute, but it happened. It wasn't that expensive. It was all in all, I don't think we spent more than maybe even $1,000 on it. So it was a pretty cheap investment from all things perspective. Was overhauling the cutting room so that there is now a second cutting table in the cutting room. We figured out, originally we were planning on having 2 people work on one table on one height at a time during Christmas to speed that process up. Some of our early testing showed that was not a very efficient use of time and people. In fact, you didn't get twice as many pieces out of the hide, or you didn't get twice as fast out of the hide when you have 2 people working on it. Instead, you got about 1.5. So really, it was an inefficient use of our people. So we said, okay, we're going to rearrange the cutting room specifically and put another table in that room so that there can be 2 people cutting and 1 person operating the press. And then there can be 3 people in the engraving room and 1 person floating. That's at least how the initial part of the day will go for Christmas. And we got a whole plan, and I'm happy to share that with you guys about how our days are going to go using the Blitz method with that. But those 2 overhauls, functionally, in my mind, were critical to our Christmas success. And realistically, we've got to look at Christmas as our saving grace. I know we've talked about how it's important for us to be profitable the other 10 months of the year, and I think we will be profitable the other 10 months of the year, and we're working on solving that problem long term. But realistically, if we're looking at the most challenging aspects, our sales during Christmas are huge. And they frankly make up 40% in some regards of our annual revenues. Now, if you think about that, 40% of our sales happening in functionally 45 days, maybe a little bit longer if it bleeds into October like we're hoping. That's a huge pill to swallow. That's a massive change functionally and structurally. So for us, we really want to be able to take advantage of that to its fullest, because that's going to be important. That's going to be functionally the best way for us to pay off debt in a real way, because paying off debt a little bit at a time over a long period of time for us is challenging because it stifles and subterfuges our intentions of launching new things, developing new products, keeping that excitement going. So it's better for us to say, let's take really profitable times of year and really hammer on the gas during those times to try to take the most out of them. Now, that being said, those projects got done. I think all in all, they both came in pretty much under budget. There was a little bit of extra expenses on one area, but we were able to save money in a different area on both projects. So the good news is that was, important. And because we had the money, the liquidity that we needed, we were able to do that. So that shifted because that actually was a big fixed cost. That was a very large fixed cost. And so that went against our goal of reducing our fixed costs overall. And obviously that was a challenge, but that was done on purpose with intention. So we didn't hit our fixed cost target goal, but we made it close. Now, the good news is this. We have, for the last 4 months, 6 months, been working with some other tanneries in Milwaukee. We have a good relationship with the one we're currently working on, but after last Christmas when we were out of espresso at a critical time because they couldn't get it to us, it became very important to me. A priority for me this Christmas was making sure that we have 2 suppliers for everything we sell. That way all of our raw materials are secure and we don't have to worry about running out, and it was important for me to have that happen. So during that process, we went to one of the other tanneries in the area and we said, can we work with you? Now, I've always liked that tannery. I've liked the people that run it. Back originally 2 or 3 years ago, well, no, more like 4 years ago, when I first was looking into tanneries and getting our leather custom made for us at the local tanneries, they were not the cheapest. And they were actually pretty expensive comparatively. But because we have seen our costs rise precipitously over the last 24 months in our leather costs, I thought to myself, let's give them another shot. Maybe their costs are a little more stable, and I was right. Their cost, they came in significantly under, well, not significantly, they came under a good portion under our current costs of leather for their leather, and it is better quality. And the reason why I say it's better quality is they have invested a lot of money into new technologies to optimize their production line. They've invested a lot of money into new technologies that do, well, here's one example. Rather than having their color, which is leather color is always a challenging thing. The same way when you dye fabrics, it's challenging. It's hard to get that to match perfectly. They have installed and invested in a piece of technology that uses a specific combination of light and photosensors in a controlled environment to accurately get a chromograph version of the color of the leather once they make it. So that means that they can scientifically prove that the color is within X percentage of its target, plus or minus. And so because of that, they've got a very, very strong process of quality control to ensure that the leather that we buy today, from a color perspective, is exactly the same color, or at least very, very similar, so that the eye couldn't tell the difference 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. They also have a really effective science lab in their workshop, which I've had our leather sent to, and they've had, in their tannery, they've got a leather. It's a leather laboratory that they need because they have certain specifications for producing military, government, fire departments, things like that. So you have to, they have a laboratory that internally that they use to test their leathers. And so we sent some of our leather to them, and they came back with information, and it was fascinating to me because there was areas where we were really strong and areas where we might not be as strong. And so what I said to him, I want a concerted effort so that the leather that we get from you guys wins in every category. And they said, we can do that. And the price they came in, even with those changes, was lower. So I'm really excited about that. So when we talk about our fixed cost being a little bit higher, that's true. And our cost of goods sold this month was better overall. But more importantly, we found a source that's going to be able to keep our cost of goods sold in a little bit of a better position. Now, I don't know if that'll save us from having to do a price increase. I really don't want to do a price increase. We still have to figure out the math on that. And the problem really in the moment is this, that we'll get them online soon and as fast as possible. And the leather that we're going to get from them is going to come in before Christmas. But at the same time, it's not here today, right? So it wasn't here this month. So being able to have a process, to analyze whether that new leather cost and the new way that we're doing it is enough, right? Because not only is the fixed costs an important part of this, but the variable costs is obviously an element of this as well. And that's the cost of goods sold. So those were two kind of variables that changed mid-month in the process. Our sales were lower than we wanted them to be. They were genuinely lower than we wanted them to be, but a big part of that was in part because of the HVAC system. The HVAC overhaul, during that, we thought that was going to take one day. It took more like a week. And the cutting room was not much shorter, right? So if you had noticed during the beginning of the month, we walked into the month with a lot of steam. We launched the Alligator, we launched the left-handed launch. This Buffalo launch was actually supposed to happen 2 weeks ago. So we had plans for what we were going to launch this 2 weeks ago and this week and all those other things. We were going to keep that momentum and that steam up. But what ended up happening was we just didn't get through the HVAC system at Revolution enough and fast enough for me to confidently say, yeah, let's pick production, let's push the marketing on it again, right? Because whenever we do big marketing process, if our production facility isn't really operating at all, or even in any form of reduced capacity, we can't keep up. So for me, I was like, let's pull back on our new launches during this time because we're not finishing our construction fast enough, and let's have lower sales during this time so that we can make sure that we don't get behind, right? So that was a big part of why I don't think we hit our targets from a perspective, from that sales perspective. Now, here's the good news, and this is actually something that I'm very excited about. Our advertising this month, we had a ROAS of 6. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, which is perfectly reasonable, that means that for every dollar we spent, we made 6 back. And that's on social media advertising specifically. Abstract is still just lighting money on fire for now, although we're still working on fixing that. But the social media advertising as a whole, right? So it's hard, because of the iOS 14.6, the privacy changes that have been made, it's very difficult to accurately track one-to-one sales that came from social media that went to our website. But as a whole, so we look at what we call full funnel ROAS. Full funnel ROAS means how many dollars did we spend on marketing? How many dollars did we make from any source, right? It's not perfect, and it does have its own issues from an analysis perspective because it's subject to some of the, like, for example, the email marketing played a big part this month, and organic played a big part this month. So it's hard to know exactly how the social media advertisements play into it as a whole. But that being said, we don't know, for example, how many people saw a social media advertisement, went to our website, signed up for our email list, got an email 2 weeks later, ended up saying, okay, well, I'll buy from that, and then they bought from that. Or they saw the email, they didn't think about it for a little while, then the next 2 days later, they went and they searched us on Google and they bought. That could fall into any of the 3 boxes: social media, email, or organic searching. So from a marketing perspective, it's a little harder, but overall, the fact that our social media advertising was able to have a ROAS of 6 this month was good. And it was really important because we kept our advertising costs down. Now, I don't know what next month is going to hold. I'm hoping that we can go back to our original plan in August, in September, and have a focused, low-spend month to try to get as much out of September as we can now that we've made the improvements that we wanted to make from a production standpoint. I would also love to see if we can start getting some of those big corporate orders that we've been hoping that would come in during Christmas. I'm hoping we can push those more into September and October rather than November and December, because if we can really fill September and October with that production, we can really push the supply, the production line to, what we think it can do, and we can test that beforehand. So I'm thinking that's good. All in all, it's going to be a big month for us next, and I am happy with how August turned out. I know that it didn't turn out quite like we'd hoped, but in many ways it turned out better. And we're still here. So there's that, right? I am excited for what the company can do during Christmas, and we're putting a lot of eggs in that basket, so I'm very pumped. So obviously, those of you who've been looking to purchase for Christmas presents, put us on your list, because that's going to be super helpful, and we make great gifts. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to check back in next Tuesday just to see if there's another podcast, because there might be. Or be sure to subscribe for that notification bell so that you get notified when we launch new episodes on the off chance I'm not available next week to podcast. If you have any questions or concerns about your leather binder, journal, folio, accessory, or anything else we sell, please do feel free to contact us on the main page of our website at murdycreative.co. You can also contact us via Instagram and Facebook, although it's a little harder for us to see them there just because of the way that they integrate. But you can also text us, email, direct call, or direct message, call us. We'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. We do appreciate your patience. If for whatever reason you're having trouble getting to us from any reason, you can use the contact form on the website. That goes right straight to the top of the inbox and everything like that. So the contact form on the website is a good way to reach out to us if you need help. Another thing, join our Discord server. The link is in the top of the description. In that Discord server, we're there pretty much all the time. And so people can ask questions there, and normally we'll be able to answer them there. But if not, usually one of the other community members, if it's not an unusual question, or even if it is, sometimes the other community members know the answer and they can answer it. So it's a great way, obviously, to be part of the community and get a little more information quickly. So if you have a quick question you want to place an order over the phone, please do feel free to call us at 414-434-9001. We're available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time. You can also text us at that number as well, 414-434-9001. If for whatever reason you don't get a hold of us either during hours or after hours, please do leave us a voicemail. If you're going to leave us a voicemail about a specific order, please include either the order number, which starts with an S and is followed by a series of digits, or the full name of the person that placed the order or the name on the order. Sometimes people will call and leave voicemails and they'll be like, hey, this is Tim. I just wanted to call about my order and check in. And we've had 4 orders that day from people named Tim. So it's something that we're just being able to have that specificity helps us make sure we know who we're talking to. Being we deserve it, a good review can go a long way to help us grow our new community, both a review on whatever podcast app you're listening on, as well as a review on the product itself, if you have one. You can go to murdycreative.co/reviews to read all of our amazing 5-star reviews. One thing to note, if you do click on the Leave Us a Good Review section, it'll take you to Google right now. We are working on improving our Google review positioning and the SEO that comes from that. Our old place for reviews on Facebook, you can see that if you still want to go there, Murdy Creative, facebook.com/murdycreative.co/reviews. You can read, there's like 100+ reviews there. So you can read those if you'd like. Otherwise, if you want to leave us a review, Google is the best place at the moment. If for whatever reason you'd leave us a bad review, there's another button there that says get directly in contact with us. It is deeply important to me personally that everyone has a good experience with the company. We want to do everything in our power to make everyone happy. So please, 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 before you leave us a bad review, give us an opportunity to make things right. We'll do our best. We'll recraft, refund, whatever we can do. We really do want to make you happy. So please give us an opportunity to do so. Word of mouth is the best form of advertising, always has been, always will be. So please, like I said, tell your friends and family about the company. If you want to get a little something for doing that, be sure to log in at the top of our website and join our rewards program. If you log in and create a profile, you're automatically enrolled. In the bottom left-hand corner, there's the rewards tab. If you open that up, there's a little pane that pops up. You get 10% back on any purchase you make as in-store credit called Murdy Creative Cash. And you can spend that on anything we sell in store, regardless of whether it's on discount or not. So it's a great way to get a little something for being a loyal return supporter. On the flip side as well, there's a shareable link there that you can share with your family and friends. And if you share that link with them and they buy something, by the way, this is true even if you haven't made a purchase yet, by the way. If you share that link with them and they make a purchase, you get $10 off, they get $10 off their purchase and you get $10 of in-store credit when they make that purchase. So it's a great way to help share the company. And frankly, if you go on, you say, I really want a Murdy Creative Co product, but I can't afford one. I'm a poor college student and I just can't do it. Go log in, create a profile, get that link, send it to 10 friends, 15 friends, 100 friends, send it to everybody, get them to buy something, and enough of that, you'll stack up to get enough credit to buy something for free. So do that, check that out. That's a great way to get something. If you have any podcast topics you want to hear more about, send them my way. Obviously, going forward here in the near future, I might not be able to do as many of them because of the podcast issue with my paternity leave, but please do send us podcast ideas. I'm always looking for something to talk about, and there's a lot. Doing two podcasts a week means that there's, I got to come up with topics. So definitely, if you want to know something about the company, feel free to send us an email, send us a message on Discord, social media, whatever. Just ask your question, and we'll be able to talk about it. If you're looking for multiple binders, journals, folios, anything else we sell for gifts, giveaways, menus, really any reason, we do have bulk discounts available, and they are built directly into the cart. All you need to do is add everything you want, all that your heart's desires. You can mix and match to your heart's desire, and you can add them all to your cart and hit checkout. The system will automatically detect the quantity of the cart. It doesn't matter what you buy, per se. It just matters on the total cart quantity. Now, some things you may know, some line items are exempt. For example, if you get a slim cut binder and then you add a name engraving, that's still one thing, so to clarify. But add everything in your cart, you hit checkout, it'll auto-apply the appropriate discount for that quantity, and you can purchase right then and there. It's a great way to get all of that stuff that you want for Christmas or for your company or for your friends all taken care of right then and there. Your groomsmen, if you're having a fall wedding. Anyway, if you're looking for a custom engraved item, we have no minimum order quantities and no setup fees. It's a simple flat fee, normally $15 per item, but it can go up a little bit or a little down a little bit depending on what you're getting. So if you want to do that, go to most of the product pages on our website and hit Add Custom Logo. It'll go to a different product page that'll say Custom. For example, if you were on the Slim Cut Binder and you click Add Custom Logo, it will take you to the Custom Slim Cut Binder. There is a button there that says Launch Customizer or Add Logo, depending on where you're at. And it'll launch the customizer. You can upload logos, you can add designs, you can add text, you can resize, rotate, reposition. You can put them anywhere you want on within the bounding box, and then you can hit add to cart. Now, it automatically takes a snapshot of what you just created, ties that to the product so that when we go to make it, we can pull up exactly what you made, and it'll put it right on the front cover of the binder with no editing. It's a great way for us to be able to do that. Just to note, we can't do copyright images. So if you're trying to do something copywritten, we cannot do that. We will contact you after you place the order and say, hey, this is a copyright image. Would you like something else? So even if you say, hey, they let me put Buzz Lightyear on my cover, no, we're going to follow up with you because unfortunately the copyright protection laws in this country are extraordinarily good. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, it's got two sides to that coin. So, however, that engraving is subject to the bulk discount percentage. So if you want to get a whole bunch of things for your company, go add one to your cart, change the quantity, and hit checkout, and it'll be able to purchase all of those. It's a great way if you're looking to get employee gifts or client gifts to get that all taken care of right then. If for whatever reason the product you want to get customized is not available on the website or you don't see the ability to customize it on the website, do send us an email, sales@murdycreative.co, sales@murdycreative.co. But you should put in the subject line something like custom order or something like that, and then be sure when you're in the email to explain what you'd like on what product. If you've got a deadline, you're looking for quantities, any information you can provide us is good, and be sure to attach any images that you'd like to put on it. We'll be happy to help create a free mock-up for you as well as a custom order link that you can use to purchase. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and goodbye.